Whether you hit the current cap and waiting for a breakthrough, or still going through earlier stages of the game, it's important to know all the ways to upgrade your weapons, gear, inner ways, and mystic arts. In this video, I'll show you the best ways I found to get your upgrade materials, be efficient, and not miss out on important weekly stocks. So let's get started. Let's start with your martial arts first. You will initially need money to upgrade them, and then you will need a certain type of material, and then another type for breakthrough. Money simply comes from every activity in the game, so that's something you should have a decent flow of as long as you're playing. If you're really desperate, you can get money from the season shop for Jade Fish, but that's a really inefficient way to spend your fishies. The materials you will need, you can find out where to get them in here. It's usually the best option to farm them. Here, for example, there's 13 nearby. If I go to this location and quickly farm it up, I'll always get the drops. I haven't seen any of those items to be very rare or anything. So the more trash mobs you clear, the more you'll have. Here's just one dude who gave me 2. And now I can upgrade my weapon. And actually, now I just hit a breakthrough, which requires a higher rank material. But guess what? I can get it from the same guys here. So this is pretty quick and efficient. You will have to do that anyway because the alternative won't often be enough. Especially if you're trying to upgrade multiple weapons. The alternative will be the Battle Pass shop, which has a weekly stock of 2, and there's 5 in each. This currency is far more valuable and we'd rather use it for something else. So depending on how rich you are in Battle Pass tokens, choose wisely. The other thing we need for martial art breakthrough is the tips. The main source here is the season shop. They cost 160 Jade Fish, and they're often worth it. Unless you really aren't interested in trying any other weapons than the 2 you like and will keep playing, these boxes are a worthy weekly vendor to stock up on. They have a total of 30. 15 are just weekly stock, and 15 are also weekly, but only available if you reach a milestone in your Jade Fish earning this week. Which I guess leads us nicely to talk about Jade Fish. Jade Fish mainly comes from the engagement activities, and that's simply playing the minigames. And each game will tell you the amount you will get roughly. I found wrestling to be kind of fun. It's just a 1v1 game, and from my experience it had the fastest queues. And it's a simple mind game to quickly stock up on fish. I haven't tried all the rest, but that's kind of my go-to if I want to hit my cap of 20k. Since I have some of the boxes from last week, I can get the 8 tips I want. Break through the strategic sword, and now I'm back to needing the green pine materials. Next up is your inner ways. There's quite a bunch of them, but when you settle on the ones you like that complement your martial arts and all, you'll want as many notes of that kind to upgrade them. One of the best ones is Morale Chant. It's obviously OP because it also works in every build. It doesn't care. So I'll want to boost that up as much as possible. Actually, it feels wrong not to tell you where to get it from if you don't have it yet, and it's pretty easy. You can get it fairly early. You come here to Blissful Retreat, talk to this dude, and buy 10 of those pages. That's 5k Echo Jades. Expensive, but totally worth it. And now we need more to upgrade it. And here are the best ways to get more. The initial go-to vendor to weekly stock up on is the season shop. Like the martial art tips I showed you earlier, we have 2 sets, totaling 40 chests. 20 are just weekly stock, and 20 are available when you hit 10k fish this week. And since I didn't do it this week, I'll hit the wrestling arena and I'll quickly get to 10k. And now I can go back to the season shop and I buy these. Always buy those ones. That's a no-brainer. Those are the basic inner way chests. So this is the lowest probability to target anything, but it gets you a bulk. So I'll open them all and see if I can get any morale chants. None. Okay, the other way to get inner way chests is from food vendors. It's not a lot, but it adds up. Every food vendor in the world, if you buy enough food from them and become more friendly, they will give you 2 inner ways chests when you hit 200 affection. One of those vendors is pretty essential for another type of material we'll see in a bit. Inner way chests also can come from event rewards in the Dawn to Dusk section, and the final and very expensive way to get the inner ways you want is from this vendor. In the Kaifang map, at the Harbor Link Crossing landmark, you will find this dude, who will sell you straight up specific notes, but as you can see, they cost a good amount of Echo Jades. If you're rich enough, then that's a quick shortcut, but obviously this is not the best recommendation. Alright, the next step up is the Inaway selection chests or custom chests. Those will give you a selection based on your path preference, Bellstrike or Silkbind and so on. There's a bit of detail to explain here. Because those chests are path specific, it doesn't mean they're fully exclusive for that path. Let me show you. The default chests, as you can see, have question marks like this. All of them are random, except those yellow ones. Legendaries, I guess. But in the path-specific ones, we see the difference is that there are a few random low-tier ones, but all the rest are the ones associated with Bellstrike here, for example. But they still have a chance for the same yellow ones here at the start. So for example, if you're interested in Sword Horizon, which is a Bellstrike, yet your path of choice say Silkbind, then you don't need to go for Bellstrike chests to get Sword Horizon. Your Silkbind will give you the chance on both Silkbind ones that you need and the Bellstrike Sword Horizon. Simply don't think of yellow Inaways as if they're path specific. When it comes to Inaway notes, you'll equally get them from any chest. The main source for custom chests are outposts, plus once weekly from the Hero's Realm, and then you can get more from Sword Trials. Obviously, those will cost you energy, so it's not really an endless resource. And also, don't let your energy cap out at 500 because you're making videos. Now, since my choice is Bellstrike, I'll pop all these chests and select Bellstrike ones. You can see I got Echoes of Oblivion, which is a bamboo cut, and Exquisite Scenery, which is a stone split. I got no Sword Horizon though, and no Morale Chance. But I did get enough to upgrade my 5-fold bleed, which I'm still using. So yes please, I'll upgrade that one. Now after exhausting all those shops and RNG chances on the notes you want, you will end up with a bunch of garbage ones that you know you'll never use. That's not going to go to waste, as we'll also be able to target our preferred Inaways using those unwanted ones. If you go to your bags in the Develop tab, you will see Tips Exchange here at the bottom. This will allow you to get rid of the notes that you don't want and get vintage bookplates for them. You have filters here if you like. I'll select the ones I know I never want and burn them. And now I get 138 bookplates. If we go to the Tips Exchange, we can now buy the specific path boxes that we want. You can see the stock is 600 and they cost 5 each, which means I can get 27 boxes. This doesn't give you the boxes, it just opens them right away. Next up is our Mystic Arts. If you want a list of my favorite ones, please check out my previous video. But if you settled on the ones you like, it's time to make them stronger. To do that, we initially need a good amount of Ebon Iron. Once you max out your rank and hit the tier breakthrough point, you need Ebon Iron plus another epic material, which is different based on each Mystic Art. It will be one of those 6. Ebon Iron to begin with comes from outposts. You get 19 from each outpost daily. You'll also be able to get it from Sword Trials in Joint Battle, and different difficulties will give you different amounts. Again, also using energy. Ebon Iron also comes from events in Dawn to Dusk, along with the Inaways chest we just saw. Now here's when it gets tricky. Once you hit the tier breakthrough, you now need Ebon Iron plus some of those epic materials. We'll take an example here, which is my favorite Mystic Art, Guardian Palm. Guardian Palm needs Buddha's tier root. Let's see where we get this. Our first option here is a weekly must-have. You get 10 using Jade Fish, and you need to get those 100%. Those chests are pretty efficient as they will give you 3 from whichever one you select. You can also get them using the more valuable currency I mentioned earlier in the Battle Pass shop. Now those are the ways to buy them, but that tier root is actually just a rare drop from gathering Buddha's tears, which leads us to a pretty convenient game mechanic. If you hit this, the game will track that resource for you and even tell you how many of it are there. And once you deplete it, it will mark the next closest location for you. But before we gather, let's look at one more important tip. Since the tier root is a rare drop, we need to optimize our chances when gathering. To do this, we need to eat a certain type of food. If we teleport here to Apricot Village, near Kaifeng, and nearby here, there's this vendor who will sell you 2 types of food. We're interested in the green pancakes. Those will increase your gathering and hunting crit rate by 20% for 20 minutes. So we'll need to pop that before we go on our small Buddha tier run. And as you can see, once I fulfill the 200 affection, I get the 2 inner waist chests I showed you earlier. And be aware, this vendor sells stuff for the unique commerce coins, which are harder to come by. You'll mainly get them from the story, and then weekly you can get 1 box from the season shop, so that is one you must buy as well. And as you can see, this is a lucrative box because it needs you to be maxed out on collecting fish. You can't buy it before getting 20k fish per week. Now let's track our Buddhist tiers, which you can do if you go to the map and click on the flower here and tick the box next to the item you want. You can track up to 5. We pop the pancake and go gathering. I know this location has 8 nodes, so that's my go-to place. So I'll teleport here and then I'll fly over to this location, drop down, and I'll grab them all. And what I can do is after I clean this place up, I switch to online mode and gather them again. I keep my buff and the tiers will be there again to loot. Here I just got one. Generally, online herbs respawn quicker, so that's a better way to farm most of the time. You can see I'm still with the same buff, and if I go back to the spot with the 8, they're already respawned. And here I got a couple more roots. Our final type of upgrade is gear. Those are good investments because they're not upgrades to a piece of gear, they're upgrades to the slot. So they're a permanent benefit that you can keep stacking up no matter how you change your gear. The main resource which you need a ton of is oscillating jade. Those do come from loads of activities and chests and rewards everywhere, kinda like most other resources in the game, but let me show you the unique or limited stock locations for those. You obviously can get them from the trials in joint battle, which will cost you energy, so you will have some of those if you farmed ebon iron. The other place is the season shop, and you get a weekly 100. The next place is the Meow Meow shop, the one near Path of Void. If you go to this little kitten here, you'll see you can get 20 weekly of those oscillating jades, and you can also get 10 weekly boxes of commerce coins for 1 bell each, which we know we need for food vendors, like I showed you earlier. And on top of all this, you can get one of these gacha draw melodies for 50 bells, if you care. The next place is in Kaifeng. If we teleport to the Grand Imperial Temple, go down this way, you will find Wang, who will sell you 20 oscillating jades, and it's for the basic trash coins, so that's like it's for free. And he also sells you 10 ebon iron, which we know we need for our mystic arts. Now that we got the coins and oscillating jades, there's one extra variable that is different for each slot. It's those ones, like coarse fur or cold iron. The grey ones you can get using gathering, essentially the same way I showed you for Buddhist tiers, and the other option are weekly stocks from the general goods vendors in both maps. These guys have a weekly stock of 99, which also will cost us the basic coins, so it's pretty affordable. The other place to get them is from the season shop, from the life supplies box. But they're too low rank to be worth the fish, but it's still an option for convenience. The green ones are the next step up, and will come from their own type of vendor too, but they're more expensive and have less stock, as you can see. Do you think I missed anything critical when it comes to those upgrades? Please let us know in the comments and help everyone out. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to like, hype, and subscribe. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.